My name is Darcy Griffith. I get the privilege of serving as chair for the Sessaquasis Art Gallery. And the event today is a spectacular exhibition from McMichael, and Melissa will get to a little more of that. But I get the opportunity to thank the Ontario Arts Council. The OAC has been a supporting agency for us for decades. It is only with the help of agencies and donations and grants from the OAC and other organizations that we can continue to offer the amount of exposure for art and different kinds of art in the community. Art is an economic driver. It's been shown to kind of bring business. It makes the community more livable. It humanizes the community. We're seeing more arts tourism than ever before, which is an important thing for this region. I mean, we can look at how Cobalt is getting a reputation as being a little bit of an arts hub, and we love the opportunity to build on that and be able to serve as kind of the consolidator for the premier arts organization here and share what's going on. So a big thank you to the OAC for everything they do across Ontario, but specifically what they do here for the Sessaquasis Art Gallery as well. And I will pass it off for our curator.
My name is Melissa Laporte. I am the curator here at the Sessaquasis Art Gallery. I'm very fortunate to have worked with some of the best staff and volunteers in the whole world, including Shannon Lawrence, who's here, Kaylin, volunteer extraordinaire, Alyssa Costella, Diana Catarella, who's been a long-time volunteer, Bonnie Halley, Louise Joseph in the back, Kathy Hackala, lots of wonderful faces. Thank you for joining us today. This show is something a little bit different for us. If you got to join us for Lionel Venn and Terry Frizette's show a few weeks ago, you know that was largely sort of abstracted painting and works in metal. And so we're glad to do something a little bit completely different. This exhibition was initiated by the McMichael Art Collection in Kleinburg. You may or may not have heard of it. It is the home of the Group of Seven in Canada. But of course they do other things as well. So their focus is on Canadian art. And this exhibition was a special project for them, funded by the Department of Canadian Heritage. And as you can see, it features the photographs of John Macfie, who was a trapline manager in communities beginning in Saskatchewan and moving north and northwest. So it's really special, I think, for us to have it here because we are obviously the closest art gallery to Saskatchewan. And when you start looking at the label, you'll recognize family names, places, things that we are sort of still closely connected to. One example is the Coustashian family, who are featured in several of the photographs. And of course, Shannon Coustashian was just a gem for our community. And we now have that beautiful bronze sculpture by Tyler Rovell to memorialize her memory. This exhibition is really unique in that it was curated by an Indigenous curator from Western Canada, Paul, and I'm going to apologize to Paul, Sessaquasis. Probably said his last name wrong, unfortunately. But he had the pleasure of working with John Macfie closely to curate the show, to talk about the things that he saw and did in his work life. John did keep journals. He kept all of these are actually slides that the photos were made from for all of his life. So as you can see, these were done in sort of the 50s into the 60s. And John passed away just a short few years ago, so he was well into his 90s when he passed away. Apparently he was just a wonderful guy. And I think that's I think personality and intention played a large part in John's sort of access to Indigenous communities. So of course, not every Indigenous community would welcome a trapline manager employed by the Government of Canada. But I think John went in with an open heart and a genuine interest in people and an interest in their well-being. He saw the value in the practices that they had within their communities. And the photos they weren't for work reports. They were because he saw the beauty in the land and the people who lived there, right? So Paul worked closely with John to sort of curate the show. As well, there is a wonderful curatorial essay in the book. The book is for sale. Again, initiated by McMichael. As well, you can see there's some of the writing in the sort of large panels. Apart from all that, though, I think that the show itself has value just in its visual strikingness, if that's a term. John was most definitely an artist as well as a trapline manager, so you can see he had that artistic eye when he was taking his photos, in the composition, in the play of lights and darks. So he really was a true artist in his hobby work, as he might have thought of it. So I think without further ado, I'll let you have a good look at the show. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to talk more about it. This is our sort of initial partnership with the McMichael Gallery, but hopefully it's one of many to come. On the side of the Temiskaming Art Gallery, we're very happy and proud to have this show. However, I will let you know, we're always fundraising, and sometimes people don't really understand why. We get these wonderful grants from the government to do projects and those kinds of things, but one of the things that grants don't always cover are things like humidity control. That sounds kind of lame, like, do you need a new furnace? No, we don't need a new furnace, but we need to be inventive about how our gallery works so that we can fix our climate control, so that we can have bigger exhibitions, so that we can receive gifts that have been offered to us that are considered by the government of great Canadian importance. Believe it or not, that happens more than you would think for a little gallery in Temiskaming Shores. We have been offered original group of 7 paintings and those kinds of things. But because they're so important to the cultural fabric of Canada, we can't accept those gifts until we reach a certain level of our climate control. So it's a very practical kind of thing, but it does make a very big difference in terms of the types of projects and exhibitions we can present and what we can accept. We're always striving to provide sort of world-class opportunities for the people of Temiskaming. But it does take a lot of work and unfortunately funding, I think. Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us today. Please consider buying a membership now that my soapbox is done. And of course, enjoy a treat. Thank you.